Okay. I've been covering how Matt. Greetings, brothers and sisters. Today's Tuesday, the 9th of December. Um, I can't believe November just flew by. Like, these months just fly by. The weird thing is, my wife and I were talking about in 2020, we went to India. And, there was the last Heartfulness gathering, Sajmark stuff, when, like, right after that, COVID hit. And then I found out that this guy Dodgy had shit the bed, and we went there. There's this guy my wife calls Diaper Baba, who is Baba Ramdev, who runs this thing called Patanjali's, and he stripped down to bright orange diaper, and he did this yoga shit, and everyone from like America and Europe was like, "What the fuck's going on?" Right? At these spiritual gatherings we had, and then later on I found out it was all messed up, but so that was 5 years ago. My wife and I were talking about like it feels like 50, right? Time is flying, and time just flies by for us now, and I don't know. It's because we get older, but we're already almost halfway through the winter. Um, Anyways, so MAGA's losing their shit, right? And I got a couple of funny things: Tim Pool losing it, and then two little things with Candace Owens here that are kind of funny. And then this guy, the name of this thing is immediate release. Own your own shit.
It always sucks when you make a mistake, when you said something you shouldn't have, when you hurt somebody unintentionally, or, I don't know, said something that wasn't true. And then comes a point in time where, and we've all been there, right? There comes a point in time where you have to make a decision. And the decision is whether you are going to man the fuck up and admit your mistakes, or if you are going to be a little bitch and cower away and fucking hide from your mistakes and hope that
I think I'm gonna go with two. I think you might go with the be a little bitch thing. What do you think? I think you should explore being the little bitch thing. I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna do, but I think he might explore the little bitch thing here.
everybody forgets. And today is one of those humbling days for me where I fucked up. I said some shit that wasn't true. And now I have to make the decision on whether I'm going to own this shit or I'm going to cower away like a little bitch. And
You're really selling me on this little bitch thing. I mean, the more you talk about it, the more it just makes sense. Right? I don't know which way he's going here. It's just a mystery.
and I'm not going to cower away because I fucked up and I said some shit that
Come
wasn't
on,
true.
bro. I mean, like you were selling me on the little bitch thing, and now you're like the big reveal. So, anyways, he said something about local police, and I think he lives in Tennessee, where all these guys live. When he was doing the thing with Tucker Carlson, and I didn't really understand it, and I don't think anybody else really cares. But look into doing the little bitch thing because I think it's really underrated. And so there's that. Okay, so I shot most of the rest of these clips, and I remembered I wanted to say more about this thing with this guy saying he's either going to go out, he's going to own his mistakes, or he's going to go out like a little bitch, right? You can't live your life thinking that you're always going to be right, and you're not going to make mistakes and say things that are false information. You're not going to be deceived because you've already been indoctrinated and warped by our system. Like, everyone should be aware of that. Like, you're never going to be just an absolute truth teller, and you're not going to misjudge things. You're not going to have 100% clear judgment because, most of the stuff that you were told were lies. Every time you say the Bible's the word of God, that's a lie, right? I mean, certainly this idea that it is the only word of God, but it's not even that, you can't even call it a word of God, right? It's an okay book, like in terms of spirituality. It's not horrible. I mean, the Old Testament's horrible. That religion sucks and should be, I mean, it's got no purpose. Not that Christianity and all the other religions are so much better, but that religion, particularly the way that they define God, the way they talk about God, is they're talking about a demon. I've said this over and over again. But you've been told things your whole life that are not true, and you think them, and you have to basically go back and fact check your whole youth, right? Like you grow up knowing, the things that you think you know are all false bullshit things. And it's also the perception, the orientation, the motivation, the everything behind our system, what life's about, like why the American dream, all that shit's bullshit, right? And so, this idea that you're going to be some great truth teller, you're never going to make mistakes. Of course you're going to make mistakes. It's silly. Like you can't live your life that way. Like it's some big deal if you I made a mistake, I got to go own it. Why the fuck do you have to own it? I mean, you could say, whatever, clarify things, but there shouldn't be any shame or guilt. I mean, unless you outwardly are deceiving people on purpose for your own profit, and that's something you're not, people aren't, then you're going to be a little bitch, right? If it's something like that, you're not going to tell people, right? Like, when you make an honest mistake, I made a mistake, who gives a shit, right? Oh, you did? Oh, yeah, we thought you were perfect before that. Oh, you're not perfect? Oh, my God, our minds are blown. Like, who thinks other people are perfect or themselves? I mean, some people think that they're perfect, but that's where the issue comes in. It's just fucking silly. You don't have to dramatize something, right? It's not fucking that big a deal. We're all going to make mistakes. Because even our language is dishonest, like the way that our language is structured. There's levels of dishonesty in it. So there's no, there's no like, oh yeah, I was 100% truthful until I made this one mistake. It's fucking silly. All right, let's move on to the next thing here. Okay. So the real Candace Owens, well, let's come back to this. There's something else she said here. Well, this is the one I watched yesterday, so I guess this is another one. Maybe it's the same one. And this, Twitter recommended this to me last night. And so today on the show, Kash Patel is asked about France's potential involvement in Charlie Kirk's assassination. His non-answer should unnerve you. Charlie Kirk's opinion on JFK's assassination resurfaces and is especially relevant. I'll show you that later. And we received another tip regarding France's potential involvement. She's getting farther and farther away from Israel. But here it says, I cannot explain it, but I sense that this is actually about me, isn't about me, and that Tim Pool is under tremendous financial pressure. Men behave a certain way when they are under economic pressure, and I feel like he's just lashing out, and I happen to be here. And on that note, I generally hope that whatever it is, he gets through it. But I can guarantee you that blaming the future 2026 GOP midterm results on Candace Owens is not the solution. So this is kind of hilarious.
Organization that's rallying young people, causing a shift in the political leanings of a generation for the first time in history, is now in dire straits. Their leader and founder murdered, and prominent pieces of human trash are trying to destroy it. It's fucking evil. So you know what?
What, Tim? They got these angry twinks out there. It's the revenge of the angry twinks.
When someone pulls
the revenge of the angry MAGA twinks
in front of my property and fires on it several times, I'm sitting here looking at these vile pieces of shit and thinking to myself, for what purpose will I stick my neck out if this is what happens after Charlie Kirk is killed? Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is...
Whoa. Where did that come from, angry twink? Angry MAGA twink. He's dropping a hard C. He's dropping the hard C.
burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit.
Boom. Quite angry twink. All right, so here's the thing. Candace Owens is the catch-all for everybody who doesn't believe in the official story, which is pretty much 95% of the fucking TPUSGay followers. You guys never believe in the official story, except when it's Trump's bullshit assassination attempt that all you fucking fake pieces of shit didn't call out because you didn't want to go against Trump. And you should have known it right there when he he's fucking you and your audience. He's screwing you guys over. He's not screwing liberals over. I mean, he is now. But that was aimed at you. That was a deception aimed at you, that fake fucking assassination bullshit, Ketchup Gate fucking totally WWE thing, right? And so, these guys are all like, he's all angry. Look at this angry twink. He's all angry at Candace Owens. 95% of the people don't accept the official story. And Candace is going to show you a guy who fires a 30-06, which I've showed you other videos. It's pretty much guaranteed. It's like anybody who knows anything about this caliber of bullet fired from this kind of rifle knows that fucking didn't hit him in the throat. We'll show you that, right? I'll show you that clip, but we already know that. People know that who are experts in this. They knew it right away. Like, if you're an expert and you're just somebody who's fired these type, not even an expert. If let's say you've killed a deer or an elk or something, coyote with a 30-06, and you see what it does to the animal, you know what the thing did to Charlie Kirk was just not realistic. And that bullshit lie that they made out that he's somehow superhuman, and he stopped the fucking bullet with his bone density. It just wasn't it. Like, if he was really shot, if that was not a hologram, whatever it was, the caliber of bullet was not a 30-06. So that throws that whole shit out, right? That means the big piece of evidence, the big piece of their story is not only wrong, it's completely fabricated. And they must be doing that for a fucking reason. Like, what they didn't think that story was, they didn't have to have him have his grandfather's rifle. Like, they didn't have to have any of that shit, right? Like, they didn't have to fire that caliber of bullet. I mean, they could have used something like a 22 or whatever. They could have said anything that was more realistic, right? They always they always have a separate bunch of, these Easter eggs for the truthers, for the conspiracy theorists, because they know that there are going to be people who are doing that, and they know it's going to divide the group, the people. They're always trying to divide people more and more. And so they knew there was going to be people that are, this is what Candace Owens' job is to put out this secondary narrative, right? And, as crazy as it gets with the Egyptian planes, there's fundamental things that people who aren't Candace Owens people, who maybe aren't even conspiratorial, can say, hey, this doesn't add up. This thing's bullshit, right? And so to blame her for fucking, dividing the party, it's silly. Like, you're a silly little twink, silly little angry twink.
She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you cower, as you fucking cower.
I think you guys are underestimating the being the little bitch part. I think you guys could, I mean, just rethink about being the little bitch. I don't know. The other guy sold me on it.
Scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which she's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah, that was
I'm fucking done with these people.
She doesn't seem to be doing that because, like, you're imploding, like you're losing your audience on your own. And she seems to be doing I hope Tim's okay. I hope he's all right over there. Geez, he must be going through something. I'm sorry, Tim, you're going through something. So she's like patting you on the head. Like she's fucking,
He has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy. And she doesn't give a shit about her security. Meanwhile, I get...
Wait, you went to her house? Did he go to her house to check out her security? That's pretty fucking weird. Yeah, I went and I flew into Tennessee to check out her security.
Bullets fired at my fucking property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property? And you know, it's all lies. It's all hypocrisy.
Why do you have to sell your property, bro?
And it is for the purpose of making money. And she does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie, she loved Charlie, and she is burning everything down that he built because she is evil. She is evil. And I'll say it again, this conservative movement is fractured, it's fried, whatever it is. Okay?
Okay, so the thing about it is, if you're dumb fuck conservative people, all the 95% that, I mean, nobody's buying into the official TPUSGay story. And so you went on there and the show sucks, they're getting no views, and you're getting run, and now you've lost your fucking audience by being this little bitch here. Which again, you know, go for it, bro. It's just, it seems to be, you know, again, we're not I think we're underestimate the value of being a little and so, you know, but all these people say that these people are falling for something. Well, they also fell for Trump. And they also fell for Charlie Kirk. And they also fell for any number of, you know, whatever it is. Not Erica Kirk. They're not falling for that bitch, right? But, you know, they can't discern if your people, like your great fucking audience, your great... That's why I don't give a shit about people. I don't pander to these dumb fucks, right? I don't pander to dumb fucks. I don't pander to people who, you know, if you can't fucking see the value of what I present here, and again, you might be upset about the swearing or my fucking winning personality, you know, any number of things. You know, I don't reach out and fucking, you know, and I've seen what that in terms of the Sajmark system, I see the way they treated the masters of the system that did everything in their power to help people, and you know would take responsibility when the people failed. I covered this in my voiceover this morning for my last video. You know, a true spiritual master, a true spiritual person, blames themselves when their disciples fail, right? And you look at Christianity, I mean, it's the worst for Jesus and the disciples and all the saints. Almost all of them were fucking, you know, if they weren't murdered or tortured, they were ostracized, right? Almost every spiritual person in Europe and America is totally, you know, I mean, not even just small spiritual people that don't have a following, is just, you know, demoralized, right? People are always telling you, you know, you're doing it wrong, right? You know, whatever it is, like you just being a spiritual person in the West is hard, even if they don't kill you and they don't, you know, it's just everything in the system is telling you you're doing it wrong because we live in a very materialistic system, right? And so, like, I don't have any faith in people doing the right thing. You know, you present the information best you can. I have information here because of my spiritual practice and years of doing this stuff, and just because of, you know, past lives, and I have insights and things, you know, things that are valuable. And I don't expect anything from people, but I'm certainly not going to pander to them. And I'm not going to fucking, you know, I mean, it's bad enough that I cover shit that I don't care about, so that, you know, people will watch this, whatever it is, so I can, you know, get the spiritual messages in there. But, you know, people suck. Like, and so stop thinking that there's a bunch of good people out there that, you know, that there's just a few evil fucking controllers and evil elites out there that are, no, like people are compromised because they, not mostly because they're threatened, but because they're tempted, because they want stuff. They want material things, and they get pulled away from their path because their egos want to. It's not fucking because the evil people are geniuses. And so if you're saying that Candace Owens fractured let's say everything that she's saying is bullshit, and the official story is correct, which, no, you know, how can you even say that out loud? That the Patsy did do the fucking deed, right? So let's say that's correct. That means that all these people are full of shit. 95% of TPUSGay people and all the people who are truther people that didn't care about Charlie Kirk, all the people that think that this story is fake, you know, that this is a bullshit story, they're all fucked, right? And so if that's true, then what are you talking about? Your audience sucks. Your life is pointless. You're talking to dumb fucks all the time then. You're talking about people who can't discern the truth. And if they're wrong about that, they must be wrong about Trump. They must be wrong about Charlie Kirk originally. And so, they're worthless people. They can't fucking see what's good for them, right? You lead them to water, and they'll drink fucking poison water, and they'll eat poison food, and they'll worship fucking idols and fake, bullshit gods. They'll do the wrong thing constantly. They'll eat fucking carcinogens and heart failure, foods that are, a shopping cart full of cancer and heart failure. They'll take the vax. They'll just follow the Judas goats over the fucking cliff. So what are you trying to fucking save here? What's your purpose, right? When that's what the people will do. Stop whining like a little biatch.
Republicans are on track to lose the midterms. They were actually trending.
So what happens if they fucking lose? What difference does it make, right? You think Trump's doing a great job? You think his fucking country's going in the right direction? You think that Trump is making America great again? Come on, bro. Like, you got fucking rolled. You're a fucking fraud. And Trump's a fraud. You guys are all full of shit. Stop whining you like a little angry twink.
The other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And this is the point, isn't it? The most effective political assassination in history, and thanks to the likes of the vile cunt Candace Owens, she has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them.
Boom. I mean, do you really have to say vile cunt? Isn't like vile or cunt enough? Like, do you need both of them? I mean, that's the kind of angry young twink this is. Angry young MAGA twink. It's okay, Timmy. It's okay, Timmy. Don't go pat him on the head. Here's the thing. Let's show you this part here.
In the JFK files, Mossad is mentioned. One of the reasons why Mossad is mentioned so much is that they're just a very good intelligence operation. It was not mentioned as if they were tied or that they knew about it or that they were involved. Again, I think the best reading...
Okay, so first he's a piece of shit. So this is the part Candace is unwilling to call Charlie Kirk out because it makes her pointless. These people are all fucking pointless, right? They don't have a fucking point. Because you can't save the system. All these fucking fake truthers out there, or real truthers, or whatever it is. If you're going to tell people and show them that the system's fucked and humanity's fucked, then you have to have some sort of solution. And you can't say it's fucking come to Jesus because we know that thing's failed. And we're talking about a remedial book and a failed religion. All these religions have failed. They had their time in the sun, right? Christianity was best when Jesus was alive. And it's got worse every year since. When Jesus was alive, it was at its peak. When he was, living, when you could meet him and be around him, feel his energy, feel his whatever it is, his spirituality, right? Like, that's when any religion is at its peak, when it's spiritual. It was a spiritual organization when Jesus was alive, and it turned into a religion immediately after his death, right? Like, Charlie Kirk's thing sucks, right, when he was alive, but it was way better then than it is now, right? Because, he was whatever he was, whatever charisma he had, whatever things, but none of these people can tell you the truth because, she's looking at this thing and he's going to talk about the JFK assassination. It's going to sound like he's talking about his own thing, right? But he starts off by saying people connected with Mossad. Here, when he says this here.
Of what happened there is who wanted JFK dead the most. Again, a lot of people said Israel wanted JFK dead. I'd love to hear that argument.
No, you wouldn't, because you're taking hundreds of millions of shekels from Israel, because you're a lying piece of shit, right? So that's that part. So, she's not saying anything about that because she knows he was sheckled up. She knows he was Charlie Shekels. But then if she says that, then she loses her audience that like Charlie Kirk, so she can't say that because, and what's the point of you finding out who killed him when he was a piece of shit, right? And so, these guys are all lying sacks of shit because they can't tell you the truth. And the truth is very simple, that connecting to the divinity within you is the only solution because we need to become saints. We don't need one saint. We don't need one Jesus. We don't need one Buddha, Muhammad, or any of these other Krishna and all these other saints and spiritual beings, masters, whatever it is. We don't need 10 of them. We don't need 100 of them. We need every person to rise to that level. Humans have demonstrated they can go to that level. We have had humans who went to a higher level of spirituality, and there's different levels, but just the first rung, which most of them reached, is more than enough to bring society up to a different level. But we're not doing it to make a utopia. You wouldn't do it to make a utopia. You do it because it's what we're supposed to be fucking doing anyway. You come down here to do that. Every person that's incarnated is come down to do that. And we've lost our fucking way for not just this lifetime, but many lifetimes, right? And that's why these religions are completely bullshit, because they're not telling you the truth either, right? Because they want your money and your power, and they want to dominate a world that's only supposed to be a stepping stone to something greater. Your life is supposed to be a stepping stone for your spiritual, for your soul. But you're not supposed to come down here and try to glom onto power and get sucked into the whole materialistic aspect of human life, right? And so we're lost. You're wayward people. And we have to get back to our original cause and original purpose. None of these motherfuckers will tell you that. They don't know it. And if they did, it would be counterintuitive to their businesses and their handlers to tell you this. And if they did tell you this, they'd lose their audience because no one wants to hear this shit, because people don't want to hear that shit, right? So anyways, let's listen to Charlie talk about the JFK thing.
Definitely Lyndon Baines Johnson and parts of our own government, and the Cubans wanted him dead, and who actually made it happen. They were like...
So why did you look into the Cubans more than looking into Israel? Charlie Shekels? The answer is in your nickname.
15 or 20 things that happened that day that were inexcusable. They changed the parade route. He rode in an open-air convertible. LBJ decided not to ride alongside of him. The vehicle slowed down right when it went by the Texas School Book Depository. A lot there, right? And then
the magic bullet, the fucking magic bullet.
Again, I think that all of us are smarter to believe that it was simply Lee Harvey Oswald. The more important question is not, oh, who did it? We have to first acknowledge it, that more than one person did it. Once we acknowledge that more than one person did it, then we can expose our government to have lied to us about the JFK assassination, which then I think will sober a lot of us about trusting the government in the future.
Boom. Okay, so she's fucking gloating here, and all her dumb fucks are gloating, but they're not telling the truth they're not, there's other things Charlie said there about defending Israel because he's Charlie Shekels and then all the rest of it. Okay, so that's the first piece, right? And so, yeah, that's good for you guys who don't believe in the official story and you're TPUSGay people. The other thing was the bullet thing. Let me show you that. Okay, so this guy's got a simulated head and three water jugs, right?
To capture it. And then what I'm going to do is pull my truck back here and try to use the roof to get a slight downward angle on the target, just like it was in real life. Unfortunately for this video, I'm not going to be able to take the shot at 140 yards. I got too many cameras to operate. I did do that in our first video though. If you want to see it, I'll link it right here. I just wanted to show you how easy it was and how close that actually is with this caliber. Trust me, it's a chip shot. There's going to be almost no difference between 30 or 40 and 140. It's a 1,000-yard gun. So we might be gaining a few feet per second, but ultimately the result will be very similar.
See the water pouring out, right? Okay, so first of all, notice how loud it is. When you shoot firearms, especially, if you have a rifle, like a hunting rifle. But there's certain things that are louder than other, but they're all loud. And if you forget to put on your earphones, which I did, it's a real bummer. And it makes you understand that these military guys are all suffering from hearing loss because these guns are really loud. I mean, it's loud enough to the sound of the gun is enough to destabilize you, right? Like, it's a very loud sound. I mean, much louder than you see with fireworks and things like that, right? And he was firing this weapon into an amphitheater, like a place that would have natural acoustics. The place where Charlie Kirk was, the place where he was standing, if you look at the place. And so the sound would have even been louder. And so, it would have been, I mean, you hear the power of the gun. So it's much different than, say, a handgun or something like that. So that would be the first part. That's my first takeaway from this.
Well, we definitely penetrated our water jugs, and I don't think this is going to help to stop the conspiracy theories. His head fell off.
So here it is.
Look at that. I mean, watch that.
So, you know, all the people who know about this, people who shot 30-06, you know what it does, right? You know what it will do. If anybody who's killed a deer or shot some kind of, you know, animal with a high caliber bullet like this knows. People who are in the military or people doing this thing, right? And so this does not look like what we saw with Charlie. It just doesn't. You can see the difference, right? And that whole story, which is based in, you know, the government backing this 30-06 story, you remove the murder weapon, then the kid doesn't have a murder weapon. So he doesn't do it. Like, he's innocent, right? Right there, he's innocent. He didn't have his grandfather's rifle. He would have had to shoot with some sort of high caliber bullet from the rooftop. No matter what it was, it would have been more than what we saw with Charlie Kirk, where the bullet didn't leave his body, right? So whatever he was shot with, I mean, it'd have to be very low caliber bullet, a 22, a 9mm, you know, like some sort of handgun or something, based in the official story. So they're already fucked, right? All TPUSGay is fucked, and Trump is fucked, and all these people who are saying this a passy, and Erica Kirk calling him the assassin. He's some furry loving weird fucking dude, you know, who's, I mean, got his grandfather's rifle and somehow assembled it. None of the stuff makes sense. The story doesn't hold up, and this is done. And she says something funny here.
All right, guys. I figured this is probably what would happen. I was trying to remain optimistic, but that right there is why people are skeptical on the official story. The 30-06 is a very hard round to stop.
Yeah, so I wanted to show that because I realized there's a bunch of people who may not be gun enthusiasts. Obviously, that channel is dedicated to it. And just so you understand and really appreciate what the federal government is trying to sell to you right now. That's what we mean when we say that particular bullet would have decapitated Charlie.
And, you know, why would they do that? Like, why would they sell this? There is, within the Republican people, the Republican MAGA group, the TPUSGay group, there are people who are gun enthusiasts, right? It's the party of NRA, it's a party of the Second Amendment, it's a party of hunters and people who own multiple guns. And so they would all fire 30-06. I mean, these people would, you know, it's all these hunters. Or they would look into it and they'd have a sense of it and immediately call bullshit, right? Ex-military people, all these people. You know, people have seen this when, you know, they've seen these bullets, these caliber bullets strike animals and things like this. They know what's happening. And this fucking goofy story they tried to sell you that Charlie prevented the bullet from going through him with his miracle bone structure, and then they had to back off on that shit. And so this blows up their whole story. But why would they tell you this story? When they know people are going to figure it out, and they know people it's going to cause skepticism, you know, why would they try to sell you this story? I mean, you know, when they lie to you, when you know, Trump is lying to you, like Trump isn't looking into this thing. Trump isn't on the job to make sure Charlie has justice. You know, Trump isn't being, you know, conspiratorial here and saying, hey, this is bullshit. Trump is going along with this and calling this kid calling for this kid's execution, that he should face the death penalty, right? Erica Kirk's forgiving him, but then they say don't talk about it because you'll taint the jury. And then this bullet thing doesn't make fucking sense at all. And they're gonna have to try this thing on the bullet. Like, they're gonna bring in experts and say this is not what would happen. This gun wasn't used. You know, if the gloves don't fit, you must acquit. This kind of thing. The kid didn't have another weapon, and they're going to change their story after going in on the story. They're going to come up with a story that it wasn't this caliber of bullet, and people are going to be watching it. They're fucked, right? They're completely fucked. And why would they be fucked? Why would they have to tell that story, right? why would they have to, why not hit him with a fucking 30-06? Because it would have been so fucking gross, right? Like, this was, what we saw was bad enough. But you see this guy's head blown up, right? Like, they didn't want to go that fucking far, right? So, the whole thing is just, it doesn't make sense that they would fail this badly at this when they know there's people out there who aren't going to believe in the official story from the get-go.
You see, like, actually, it just, the idea that just like ricocheted and went inward is just so beyond ridiculous. It's insulting, and they think that if they send out...
Yeah, what they said, it went up somewhere between whatever it was. It came out at C6. What you were watching was the exit room. And that was where the bullet went in closer to his head, hit his spine, and went down, C3, C4, whatever it was. I showed you what they said happened, and then came out at C6, which was where all the blood came gushing out. So that was the exit one. Or that was, whatever, the bullet fragmented, and some of it blew out of his, his lower neck, but the bullet went in on the upper portion. Fucking stupid, right? Didn't happen. It would have blown through his neck, came out the back, and hit somebody behind him, and the thing would have reverberated. The sound of the thing would have reverberated.
These like Glee boys, like Nick Fuentes.
Oh, so that's funny. See, Candace Owens, to whatever she is, let's see if this is,
Shade and went inward is just so beyond ridiculous. It's insulting, and they think that if they send out these like Glee boys, like Nick Fuentes acting, someone who looks like he's never even been traversed into nature before. And
that's funny. Like, sometimes she says things that are funny that you miss. But calling these guys Glee boys, it's not as good as MAGA twinks. But that show Glee, and calling Nick Fuentes a Glee boy is a good burn.
if they really put on the theater, then a bunch of hunters are going to go, yeah, I see what you mean, man. It's never going to happen. It's just never going.
All right, so that's Candace and this bullshit, right? But, they lie about everything else. Like, she's, then why don't you come out and say, stop talking about Trump's assassination attempt like it was real? Because if this thing's fake, then how is his thing real? They're all fucking fake, right? If it looks fake, it's fake because they're fake, right? When they're done as a publicity event and they're used to manipulate people, it's fake. And if it isn't fake, it's whatever they've done afterwards is fake, right? And so, but this was, obviously a fake thing. I'm always fascinated by the way that this looks like almost like Hebrew lettering here. I'm often fascinated by how water moves, like when we go to the ocean and I just watch the waves. Like, I just look at the waves and watch them move and things like this. I'm always taking videos. I got all these little videos of, and also how sound works, right? But this is an amphitheater. So, like, you have a building here where the sound is going to reverberate. You have water behind it, right? A body of water. And a loud rifle that's going to echo in here. And it's going to be a lot louder than the sound that we hear. If you go back and you find one of those clips, it's not very loud at all. And so, that's a deafening fucking shot, right? Okay, so I shot a 308. Not a 30-06, and it was so fucking loud. I'm very sensitive to this stuff in a way because, it came to me later in life, and I've always had a thing about guns. Like, I don't have a good feeling about them, right? Like, when I walk through a sporting goods store and I go through or I go into a gun store, there's something about them, and I think I'm much more aware of the power that they have. Certainly doing it at a later age, Going to some shooting ranges, we go to this outdoor place, which is so much better than an indoor place, where there's like just lots of people shooting at the same time. It's so fucking loud, and it affects you. You can feel the power coming off of them in terms of just the sound, right? And I don't believe in gun control for the simple reason is that our governments are the least responsible and the most murderous. Governments are the most murderous of all people. The governmental organizations, and so they have guns, right? They have the worst weapons ever. as Trump, someone like Trump and all these people. And so, but most people just don't have the capacity to handle firearms correctly. And you just need a bad day where you're drunk or on drugs, whatever, in terms of suicide or something, or just, a dispute with somebody, and you make a bad decision. And then the shock and the loudness of the gun, the explosion that you have. And so anyways, but, these things are really loud. And when you watch the video, it isn't that loud. It's fake. Like, it's in, the official story is just not true. Okay, I'm really digging these tenor ads. I'm getting them on Facebook. I'm going to Facebook just to see if there's any new ones. The Word of God.
The Word of God and the whole Bible.
There it is. Look, follow the fucking big, giant, bullshit fucking non-colossal cursor. Look at my colossal cursor. The fucking thing so much better. So someone said, hey, you haven't done the colossal cursor thing in a while. And the reason is, like right now I get this little wimpy freaking gay little finger. And when I see it, it's this giant cursor. Somehow my thing, when I render these clips, the ScreenFlow app changes it into this. Because when I saw it, it was like this big giant cursor that was bigger than the little white one they have here. But anyways, there's going to be a bunch of ads here. Like they just kept on. It's like again to all kinds of new ones, not just the micro Bible. Like there's going to be like 8 now, or at least probably like 3 more here of other things as well.
Right inside of there.
Boom! Right there. It's right there. Real microscope footage of the NANO Bible. The whole Bible is right inside of there.
Oh my gosh, babe.
Oh my gosh, babe. Oh my gosh. Who is she, Sammy Davis Jr.? Oh my gosh, babe.
Gosh, babe.
Oh my gosh, babe. Come on, babe. I can't believe you gave me the whole Bible in a little cube, babe.
Stop, you're gonna make me cry. This is so beautiful.
So beautiful, babe. Tenor.
Tenor has this amazing technology that
They have this amazing technology.
use just to make this special jewelry. It's amazing.
It's an amazing technology. It's so amazing. They can write words really, really, really small words they can write. Over 100,000 wives love this gift. There's a happy wife right there. Come on, gosh, babe.
It's a reminder that God is always with me.
It's a reminder that God's with me in this micro Bible. Oh my God, look at her reaction. Like, what the fuck is this little non-diamond precious jewel fucking necklace?
That is
No, let's go back. I just need to go back a little bit more.
always with me. That is stunning.
It's stunning. It's so stunning. It's so beautiful. I mean, look at this piece of artwork. I mean, even if there wasn't a micro Bible in there, it's worth a gosh, babe. A gift she won't forget. Tenor Bible jewelry. Keep on bringing it, bros. Like, this is fucking wonderful. Okay, here's another one. I'm going to have to... I already made some other clips. I have to go back. But they keep on recommending this stuff. I'm checking up.
Stunning jewelry that holds the entire Holy Bible inside.
Boom.
All 3.1 million letters engraved.
3.1 million letters engraved. Spectacular jewelry. I mean, it's beautiful on its own. But also, there's 3.1 million letters that you're able to wear right around your neck in micro fashion.
Using revolutionary nanotechnology.
Nanotechnology. Revolutionary. Nanotechnology. Behold! Look at this. Behold there. The Holy Ghost uttered unto him.
Most people wear accessories that look beautiful.
They look beautiful.
But leave them spiritually empty.
It leaves them spiritually empty because there's no fucking word of God on there. There's no nanotechnology. They're just meaningless jewelry. Erica J. Kirk. Your gaudy big-ass jewelry. Where's your nanotechnology, bitch?
Real spiritual connection happens when you carry God's complete word.
It does. Total spiritual connection. When you have this right here with nanotechnology, you're going to connect to God. Like, how wouldn't you? When you got 3.1 million letters right in here with nanotechnology.
right over your heart every single
It's
day.
right over your heart. It connects. You connect to God through your heart through this nanotechnology. I mean, every single day you could just connect. Like if you don't wear it, you're like, oh my God, I don't feel God's presence in my heart. I don't have the capacity to feel love that I don't have 3.1 million letters on my fucking breast.
Each piece is crafted in premium gold or sterling silver. But
Crafted, handcrafted.
what's inside creates the transformation. When you wear Genesis through Revelation against your heart, something profound shifts inside you.
Something profound just shifts inside you. I mean, this is your ticket to fucking heaven right fucking here with nanotechnology. Like all those motherfuckers who grew up before nanotechnology, they're all in hell. Like this is the fucking path to heaven right here.
You feel more grounded, more protected, like you're never walking through life alone.
Exactly. Affinity up here, nanotechnology down here. Okay. Breast cancer down here. Does this nanotechnology lead to breast cancer or any other kind of cancer?
Tel Aviv University provides certification proof.
Exactly. Tel Aviv. There's nothing that says the New Testament like Tel Aviv. Nothing says Jesus like Tel Aviv.
All 1,189 chapters are microscopically embedded in each piece.
Boom. Embedded.
Thousands of believers describe the same experience.
Thousands of believers. She's a believer.
Deeper peace, stronger faith, constant comfort.
Boom.
You don't have to take my word for it. They offer a complete money-back guarantee.
Your money-back guarantee if you put this micro Bible on yourself and you don't feel connected to God and Jesus through the micro technology.
Try Tana Or and discover what it means to carry scripture with you everywhere.
It's exactly it's like carrying a Bible in your hand, but wearing it on your bosom.
Real spiritual confidence starts here.
It starts right there, and you're guaranteed to get into heaven. Let me just put that out there right now. If you wear this thing and you die, you're guaranteed to get into heaven. Like there's no fucking question about it. You take some guy who sinned his whole life and is getting the electric chair. You slap one of these things on it just when he was getting juiced up, and he's going to heaven. He's like, doesn't matter what kind of piece of shit he is. This is a one-way ticket to heaven, and you're going to be on that train with Tanor from Tel Aviv. Okay, so now I'm fucking conflicted. I don't know what to get for my non-Christian, not jewelry loving wife for Christmas. I don't know what to do now. Fucking, because this thing that popped up on Facebook when I was checking out, like I'm going there all the time now to see if there's updates.
Rescued in 1999, never to be repeated. Own your piece of the Temple Mount.
Holy shit, the Temple Mount? Isn't that there where they killed Jesus? Hey, ChatGTP, is the Temple Mount where they killed Jesus? Was working on it. What is the Temple Mount? Oh, the Calvary. That was the Calvary Mount. The Temple Mount is a significant religious site in the old city of Jerusalem. It was revered in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In Jewish tradition, is located the first and second temples. Okay, those temples. All right, so you can either get a micro Bible made in the land of the people who murdered your Lord and Savior, or you can get a piece of the Temple Mount. Like, I don't know which way to go here.
Certified, rare, limited.
Boom.
Rescued in 1999.
Boom. It's certified, it's rare, it's limited. Little pieces of fucking gravel from an old building with no spiritual energy in it. Kaboom. I mean, how much is this motherfucker? Like, compared to that other thing, because, But I'm look at this thing. I don't know which to get. Maybe both. Maybe you get a micro Bible with little crumbs, little fucking, I don't know, prehistoric matzah. I mean, get some crumbs in there, some granite, whatever dirt that was there with these old temples that have long since disappeared. Or you can get, you can wear them both next to each other. I mean, you're going to go to heaven if you get both those fucking things. I mean, both those, like, fucking non-spiritual energy totally useless things are definitely going to give you a ticket to heaven. Okay, the hits keep on coming here.
Hey guys, I'm
Hey guy. Hey there, fella. Who are you?
Nikki Hilton, co-founder of Theo Grace.
Theo Grace, Nikki Hilton, Paris Hilton's sister.
Looking for a Christmas gift that actually make her cry happy tears?
Make her cry happy tears? Because we Hiltons are so known for our emotions.
This is it. I'm wearing one of the best sellers from Theo Grace, the Charming necklace.
It's the Charming necklace.
This is so cute. It's a heart, and I have 4 personalized beads on it with my 3 children.
3 children's names on there. Fucking boom. She's going to cry when she sees this fucking thing.
And my husband's name.
And my husband's name. And my lover's name. Her name is Sandra.
And this is just such a great everyday piece. What's fun about this piece?
It's pretty fun. Look, it's really fucking big. I mean, you know, most people say little shitty little nano Bibles and fucking little pieces of Temple on the Mount. But this is a fucking monster thing with big-ass names and a big-ass cubic zirconia.
You can add another bead at any time if there's a new family member.
Boom. See, right there. Look at this. It's fucking... It's bad. It's almost as good as nano micro technology that can print the Bible. I mean, look at that fucking thing. And there's like a spring on it and everything.
I never take it off, and it makes a great, great gift.
Boom. I mean, I'm so torn. All this wonderful fucking Christmas jewelry. It's all so sentimental and fucking wonderful. This thing doesn't bring you to heaven, though. The fucking Hillary... the Clinton, the Hiltons don't have a pathway to heaven. Okay, Facebook is fucking jewelry entrepreneurs are fighting hard for my non-existent jewelry budget. Here's the newest edition.
Her name in Hebrew, suddenly everyone remembers it.
Suddenly everyone remembers it when it's in a language that like nobody can read.
I wanted to give her something meaningful, not just beautiful, something that reflects who she is.
Exactly.
This necklace made
it's her name, just in a language that no one can read.
Feel connected to where she comes from. Trust me, she'll never forget who gave it to her.
She'll never forget. Like when you give a freaking girl a necklace with her name in Hebrew, she will not forget who gave that to her. Like that's no matter who it is. Like especially like if you do it to like someone in Palestine. Or in the Arab world, give a Muslim girl her name in Hebrew, and she will never forget who gave that gift to her. Boom.
Her name in Hebrew.
Okay, so there's that. Okay, there's a medication. I can't think of the name right now. Don't tell me. Don't care. Don't need to know. I have 5 of these commercials on my other channel. It's just I've covered it here as well. And I always cover the side effects because they're kind of hilarious. But the best one is, and this one doesn't have it, is a taint infection that is possibly deadly. And so this is not as bad, but it is, again, you got to realize what the medication's for. Now, I haven't experienced a hot flash because, you know, I'm not menopausal. But, you know, we've all had that kind of like hot flash kind of a thing, right? And although it's annoying and I can understand why women want to get rid of it, it's not worth some of these side effects.
This is a hot flash.
Boom, it is. It's a hot flash.
This is a not flash.
That's a not flash. One's a hot flash and the other's a not flash.
This is a hot flash.
Boom.
This is not.
That's a not flash. Look at how much happier it is when she's not having a hot flash.
If you have hot flashes and night sweats due to menopause, ask about Vioza.
Ask about Vioza. Who do you ask? Ask your Dr. Shill, right? Your non-healer Dr. Shill.
The #1 prescribed hormone-free treatment approved for moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms due to menopause. So you can have fewer hot flashes and more not flashes.
You can have more not flashes. Like, I'm having a not flash right now. I'm having a not flash pretty much all the time. In fact, I'm pretty much having my whole life I've had a not flash.
Veoza reduces the number and severity of hot flashes day and night.
Day and night. You don't wake up with a hot flash.
Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will
Liver problems? Well, that seems kind of worse than a hot flash.
do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems,
Well, what are symptoms of liver problems?
such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain.
Wait a minute. Let's stop right here at the pale stool and dark urine. Or stomach pain, right? I mean, what happens to make it a pale stool? What do you mean pale stool? Like a white stool? Like if you see dog shit sitting out in the, outside and it turns white after like 4 months? Like, is that what you mean? Like a pale stool? What exactly are you saying a pale stool? Because pale usually means white, right? Or, lack of color altogether. And so these are some of your symptoms that may, like you could fuck your liver up, right? And your liver is kind of important. So what does it mean, liver problems, serious liver problems? And such feeling tired, well, that's probably going to be everybody at that age. Decreased appetite, that's not really a symptom that women are going to care about. Nausea, could be in any number of things. Vomiting, itching, yellowing of eyes or skin. Holy shit. So that's fucking jaundice, right? Pale stool, dark urine, and stomach pain. All to avoid a hot flash.
Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors.
Because you're really fucked then.
Ask your doctor about more not flashes with hormone-free Veoza.
Yeah, like it's not worth the side effects. It's not worth the risk. I mean, how bad is your hot flash that you're willing to risk liver damage? Okay, Charlie Kirk's final and most personal book comes out tomorrow. You know what? I wonder if this is. I'm going to see. Well, I'll do that later. And so before I show you a clip of the video, I was going to lead with Marjorie Taylor Greene in her 60-minute interview, and her going after Trump because Trump's a piece of shit. And then the rest of those things, I have another thing from whatever, MSNBC, MS Now. But I was going to cover that first, but I forgot, so let's just go with this. Not once have you shown any ounce of sorrow over Charlie's public assassination. You didn't skip a beat. You continued on like Charlie's on vacation. You totally lack emotion. Your total lack of emotion speaks volumes. But you can't have Candace on virtually. You're all not Charlie. Tanking. Time tells all. There was a reply here. Exactly. All good people have a duty to carry out Charlie's legacy. Good. Yes, all people. We are praying TPUSGay, even amidst all the attacks on you. That's a positive comment. Maybe from one of their people. So, yes, however, making money from his murder is wrong. Looking back at the live stream catalog, the farthest back you go on is Israel Strikes Iran from 6 months ago. I feel like there was more listeners. I'm pretty sure I watched them. Where are they? Yeah, because, these liars make money off of his book. Charlie's message will never die. Charlie Kirk never lost a debate and didn't sit well with other people who saw him as a threat. Fly high, Charlie. We miss you, brother. That's them saying he never lost a debate, right? This is a good book. I heard a little bit of it from Erica when she read it to us on the show she did earlier. It will be a powerful book, and I will be one to buy. I miss Charlie so much. I've already pre-ordered it. Making money off his assassination is an abomination. Can you send a copy of that, Ian Carroll, please? He's helping me tutor me. Thanks a bunch. I can't wait to get mine. Waiting for mine. I think these are just people at the organization. For what shall it profit a man if he's gain the whole world and lose his soul? They're going biblical on him. So this just came out today. The video's just 18 hours old. And again, they're getting rolled up in their comment section, right? Like this first one. People handle grief in different ways. Sometimes it's behind closed doors. Are you serious? Take off those rose-colored glasses. This is responding to her. But all of them, though, you said that it was your sister. 1 out of 10 with Charlie is all of them. It's weird. And then, it goes on from there, right? You get the idea. And so they're getting rolled up in their comment section. And anything that has to do with his assassination, the people come out in droves. And they're getting no views. It's only got 14,000 views. They're going to sell more of these fucking books, but a lot less than they would have. And, because Charlie's a piece of shit, and they're a piece of shit. And now everybody knows. But let's watch these two twinks.
Charlie's book does come out this week. His last book, Stop in the Name of God. And
it's such a wonderful title. Can you get it in like a micro form? Like, can you go get that technology and use it and put it on a little microchip that we can wear around our necks, right?
And Erica is doing media to promote Charlie's book. It is, Blake, you know this more intimately than I do. I think this is Charlie's potentially the most powerful personal book, because a lot of it was MAGA doctrine, it was the college scam, it was right-wing revolution. These were sort of heady books about policy topics or ideological topics. This is a very personal book. It's very different in that way. And
look at this angry young twink, angry MAGA twink.
It's terribly tragic that this is the last book we have from Charlie. But
just the glare of his face, like he's just an angry dude.
In some ways, now that we know that that's the case, it's really apropos. And it's I think it comes out this week, and we're going to be repeating that it's coming out this week on the show. And it's a powerful book. How does this book, Blake, because you were so intimately involved with Charlie's prep for these books, how does this book kind of differ tonally, and why is it important?
Well, it's as you say, it is so much more personal. When he was deciding...
It's so much more personal? So much more personal. It's very personal.
For example, right-wing revolution, the thought was, okay, what are the issues that matter for America? What should we speak to the most?
Okay, fuck you guys. Twinks from heaven. It's twinks for heaven, right? Make heaven crowded with twinks, right? Charlie Kirk making heaven crowded with twinks. Somebody left a comment about my impression. They were liking my impression of Tulsi Gabbard.
Mr. President, for your leadership, I am truly grateful.
And what I just did was I just did a deep voice, which is, a lazy way to do it, because she has a deep voice. But I thought there can be a better impression.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership. I am truly grateful to be a member of your team here at this table to help support you in delivering on the promises that you made to the American people. You came in with a very clear mandate of taking on the rampant weaponization, politicization of the intelligence community and federal law enforcement, experiencing yourself, the deep state abusing their power as...
Okay, so here's the better imitation, which anybody can probably do. Oh, Mr. President. Oh, Mr. President, I am so lucky to have you fighting the deep state for us. I am so happy. Your words and your voice, they just make my pectoral muscles, I can just feel a deep sensation of well-being in my pectoral muscles, and it makes my testicles jiggle. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for taking on the deep state. Thank you, Mr. President. I, Tulsi Gabbard. When I wake up every morning and I think about fighting the deep state with you, I get an erection. Thank you, Mr. President. So, Tulsi and Gabbard, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so I'm really on a dislike Megyn Kelly thing, and they keep on recommending her videos, and I keep on ignoring them. But this one here, I had to address.
Jimmy Kimmel's wife, whose name is Molly.
Jimmy Kimmel's wife? His fucking wife? He's married to Jimmy Kimmel's wife.
McNierney. Right. We showed the audience her sound bites when we were out on tour, where she blasted Trump, saying, this is after her husband had a 6-day suspension, saying that they had to break it to their daughter, that this all happened because of Trump. He's the reason that Jimmy's show was suspended, as opposed to Jimmy's inane comments trying to blame Charlie Kirk's assassination on MAGA.
Yeah, it was just not true. I've covered Jimmy Kimmel more than anybody of the 3 comedians, late night, who all suck. Stephen Colbert, because I couldn't cover him because CBS copyrights everything. The pussies. I just, you're not going to hear it now. I just did a voiceover about battle rappers and how they, are rappers in general who, it's like brag about their parents being in jail. Right? So I got that coming up. And so the word pussy is used quite a bit. And so if this was a normal type segment, that's a voiceover that's going to come at the end. So it's an inside joke that you won't get till the end of the video. But anyways, Megyn Kelly's a complete piece of shit fraud. And, all these Republicans who are still clinging to this idea that Trump is a good fucking man, a good president, especially after they had their own rap beef and Megyn Kelly. Despite Jimmy Kimmel being a piece of shit, that whole thing was staged and stupid. And, he didn't, none of that stuff was real, which is the whole point of this thing, right? And when she gets all fucking, she spits all this venom and all this crap. She's just an absolute piece of shit.
Didn't take any responsibility, blamed Trump with her child. And she also confessed that she's lost relationships with family over Trump, because voting for Trump is not voting for my husband and me and my family. And now she's out there at the Hollywood Reporter's 2025 Women in Entertainment breakfast. And take a listen to Jimmy Kimmel's wife. Now she's making herself, in her own mind, into a star. She's done nothing other than, I guess, write for Jimmy. Must have been a really tough gig to get. And now they're making a feminist icon out of her because she waxed poetic on a podcast about how Trump is to blame for everything. Now she gets, I guess, an award at the Hollywood Reporter's
This is not worthy of her covering or anybody. Right?
Women in Entertainment.
But there's something coming. The hypocrisy's coming here.
And here's
I haven't seen the video, but there was a. It's not the title. It was they showed an image, and you'll see in a second.
She used her time. SOT 19.
Okay, so the Hollywood Reporter copyrighted me for this horrible person's goofy thing. Whatever she was saying here is not important. Later on, she starts to cry. I'll have to edit that out as well. Is she a fucking cancer patient? Like, what's wrong with her? Like, fucking, you got a fucking tapeworm or something, bro? Like
my period.
No one wants to hear about your period, bro. Your non-existent period. Okay, she talks about her period for quite a bit here. And then at some point she starts to cry. And, kind of crying. And not really. And, the whole point about it is Erica J. Kirk, who I just covered in a video today that's going to be out in my next video. And she's hiding snot in that rags and fake crying still and doing her Erica J. Kirk stuff. And so I had to edit out this whole chunk, but then my response was what Megyn Kelly said about this here.
Time for freedom.
Wow. Oh my God, Walter, she is straight out of Central Casting with like the uptight, tight little face and the bad haircut and her bad color choices out there trying to lecture on how Jimmy Kimmel truly is like a Nelson Mandela because he had 6 nights off, 2 were over the weekend, and he got paid millions of dollars for it and became some sort of...
Yeah, it's crazy, Megyn.
...cultural free speech icon as a result of him saying MAGA killed Charlie. False information.
Listen. Okay, so let me find this part because I can't listen to these fucking stooges. So, sometimes they show a picture and they put some words to it, like as the thumbnail. And this is what that was about.
Your damn show gets people...
She's crying. There's a tear coming down her. There's a tear. Why did the president attack Jimmy Kimmel? Left unsaid is the number of vicious, untrue attacks he launched on Trump. And the nerve to talk about how Trump called a woman piggy. Take one look back at your husband's disgusting, offensive history.
So she's talking about fucking. Here you go, you and your gay husband. She talks about her being fake crying here.
When it comes to the treatment of women, never mind.
I'll show you the thumbnail here. Kimmel's wife's crying speech about Trump. Like after Erica fucking Kirk. Now she just had Erica Kirk on for this bogus interview. And she's treating Erica like she's some elevated saintly woman and how great she is and how spiritual she is. She's solely fake and artificial, and almost all of these people know it. Erica Kirk doesn't have fans outside of like really dopey Charlie Kirk people who made the transfer. Like oftentimes you like somebody and you don't like their spouse. I mean, it's very rare that you get along with both people in a couple, right? Like how many times do you find a couple where you like one and not the other, right? And you know, just because your spouse is great at something doesn't mean that you're also great at it or you could replace your spouse. In fact, it's almost never the case. It's almost never the case that a spouse can come in and run a company or something that their dead spouse has created. Unless they were involved in working at it all the time, which she wasn't because she was at home with the kids. That was their fucking story. And so she had, and in this case, it's about social media. You know, like if somebody's on social media and they die and their spouse comes in, the spouse is going to have a different, totally different, you know, persona and energy. And people who are used to the other person, the husband or the wife that made the social media YouTube channel or whatever it is, you know, it's not transferable, right? And with her, it isn't transferable. Everyone finds her fake. I mean, it's obvious that she isn't being liked, other than by all these pundits and these fucking pieces of shit like Megyn Kelly, right? And so you're going to go after Jimmy Kimmel's measly fucking cancer patient, weird-looking fucking wife, you know, for what, right? Then that story's already fucking gone. When you have this MAGA blowing up in your fucking face, all the fake bullshit that Trump has put out there, and you're still pimping for him. It's just like embarrassing, right? Like just at some point, I mean, if you're going to talk about how Jeffrey Epstein was connected to Mossad, but not how Trump is clearly fucking compromised by Jeffrey Epstein, and you're going to bring Kash Patel in there and make it like he's a good fucking guy when he's blocked the Epstein files from being released, which has destroyed fucking the right wing and MAGA and Trump. I mean, the whole thing is just an absolute joke, and the joke's on you for pushing somebody that was bound to fail because he's a fucking grifter. He's always been a grifter. You know he's a grifter. But I guess when you're Nicole Simpson or a dude, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I was going to lead this video with this because I thought there was more of the interview with her and whatever her name is, who gives a shit, Marjorie Taylor Greene. But it's really a bunch of uninteresting, I know, Generation Zers. You know, these panels get even worse and worse in terms of the people. People who say like fucking stupid shit and just are like, they're people just you would never want to listen to individually, and then they group them in packs, right? But I did want to comment on this.
Greene is revealing much more about her public break with President Trump. She told 60 Minutes that her Republican colleagues mocked Trump behind his back, and she
Okay, so I meant to comment on that, which I didn't. The rest of it I showed you was the clip. But here's the panel, right? Here's these Generation Zers. But, you know, of course they mock Trump behind his back. I mean, they do that kind of shit anyway. They're really fucking savage people in Washington, D.C. But Trump is dumb and, like, just a moron, but they won't do it to his face. You know, they're taint lickers, right? Like, that's how sad it is.
I really want to see how this plays out in the next month and 6 months.
Kind of seems like she's still protecting the president a tiny bit there, even just not telling Leslie Stahl exactly what Trump said.
Yeah, this is what, like, where do they get these people? Like, they have like a, you know, they have a contest of the most annoying people in the industry, and then they bring them together and they stick them into these packs. So, you know, Trump's followers just absolutely suck. I mean, if he has any left. Like, if you're a Trump follower and you don't realize that everybody he's ever been close to, people that you were also fans of, whether it be Elon Musk or whether it be sloppy Steve Bannon or any of his supposed close friends, even Jeffrey Epstein, and his ex-wives and everyone else, the relationships always end with Trump turning on the person and the person turning on him. Like, that's a piece of shit, right? He doesn't have anybody who loves him. He's unlovable. And he's just like a narcissistic grifter. Like, this is what happens to grifters. And he's your president. Like, you got a grifter as a president, and it's not only your fault, but it's also the Democrats' fault who elected a senile Joe Biden with Parkinson's and Kamala Harris as VP and expected that they wouldn't get Trump 2.0. So, it's basically 70 or 80% of America that's 100% at fault for this. Like, they fell into this trap like fucking, retarded rats. And so this one, here we go with.
Quoting him now, not America first or MAGA, and your quote, new views are those of a very dumb person. That's the president of the United States speaking about you. What's your response to these latest attacks?
Well, actually, Wolf, I feel very sorry for President Trump.
Oh boy, here comes the pity trolling.
I genuinely do. It has to be a hard place for someone that is constantly so hateful and puts so much vitriol, name calling, and really tells lies about people in order to try to get his way or win some kind of fight. And I think that's exactly what's wrong in America today.
Breaking news, Representative Green. I feel very sorry for President Trump. It's breaking. This is how this thing, I said this about Elon Musk. I'm kind of surprised about her. But of course, I'm a little bit surprised about how much Trump blocked the Epstein thing. How guilty Trump is in his association with Epstein, that he blocked it.
That's what's wrong in this toxic political environment that has ripped our country apart. And I personally think that that's poor leadership from a president. It's a very bad demeanor. And
she said in the 60 Minutes thing, I watched it. I didn't clip it here because they copyright everything. They suck over there. CBS sucks, and even worse now when they got that new person running it, probably. But unless they've changed their policies, I don't know. But she was asked about they asked him about the Epstein files. She asked her about the Epstein files, and she what she said with her exchange with Trump, and Trump said people would get hurt, and then she begged him to have the victims come in. She said what happened to the victims to him, and she begged him to have the victims come in, and he didn't want that. And she said when he called her a traitor, he had the guy Khashoggi over who killed the journalist, and she had the guy who used to be Al Qaeda leader who now is running Syria, and all these people who are not America first and bad actors, and calling her a traitor. So she's she's making logical points, but she's making them on CNN and 60 Minutes, so it's not gonna reach the ears of these dumb fucks, and I don't know what they're covering on Fox. But if you're a Trump person now, you should feel like a piece of shit, like you fucking failed, you got worked by a piece of shit. And, you should have seen it because anybody, who was half awake or using critical thinking skills know the kind of person Trump was, right?
Americans are very tired of it. And unfortunately, I also am concerned because I don't think the president's team nor the speaker have told the president about the legislation that I've introduced, that actually much of it directly literally aligns with the agenda that he campaigned on. I campaigned on in 2024. Many of my bills are actually his executive orders in legislative form. And if the speaker would pass my bills, if the President Trump were to sign them into law, guess what? His executive orders, which make him literally a temporary president, his executive orders, which are my bills, would become law. That would become permanent. And so I think it's very unfortunate.
Because when I hear him talk like that about you and insult you and attack you like that, I worry about your security and your family's security. And you've been getting some...
Really, Wolf? You worry about Marjorie Taylor Greene, Wolf? You're such a wonderful person. I mean, just like your empathy, it's just radiating.
facing threats, right?
Yes, and that's what I take so seriously. As a Christian, I'm not angry at the president. It's easy
But if
for
I wasn't a Christian, fuck that guy.
me to say a prayer for him and forgive him. But the part that I have had a very hard time with is the fact that he called me a traitor. And because of his words, that brought serious threats against.
Okay, she gets into this thing in the other interview. You know, this thing with Megyn Kelly. Like she she touts that she stood up to those Republican fucks over at Fox News. Roger Ailes particularly. You know, the whole movie Bombshell was about that. She got some kind of settlement. These other women, they stood together as women against this, abusive behavior over there. You know, Fox News makes their women reporters and people dress up, and they hire a different type of woman over there. They do at CNN, right? In terms of, you know what I'm talking about. So, and then she went on MSNBC, and then Trump attacked her on her way out of Fox, and and that whole thing when she was in charge of the debate. And then she failed at MSNBC, and then she came back as kind of a truther type person, but she's the opposite of a truther now. She's licking Trump's taint when he's obviously abusive to women and has been, and he's blocking the Epstein files, and she should be totally on Marjorie Taylor Greene's side. I mean, but these people are all fake, and they're all fucking, they all suck. I mean, there's nothing to see here. Okay. So I took a little break. I was just happened to click on something. I was listening to that Pat Stay thing where he slams the rapper The Game. The one that Candace Owens was talking about her thing. Pat Stay got stabbed in a bar like right after that diss record, a rap diss. And once in a while I listen to battle rap because I find it humorous. And my friends and I used to make fun of each other using rap in the 80s when it was just coming out, when we waited in line at a bar. We just made it up. Like we had no idea there was such a thing. And back then there probably really wasn't much of a thing. But anyways, so Pat Stay also pointed out that The Game was a male stripper at one point. So you guys can find that if you're interested. He talks about how they had this scam that they would do they get, young rappers to give them, various established artists would give them money to put them on some kind of playlist that nobody heard. But anyways, and so it recommended this show that was on Netflix. They were doing battle rap in a, sort of very Netflix type of way. And there was two guys, I watched a couple of them. And there was two guys, and I forget what the guys' names are, it doesn't matter. But the first guy went, and he was like sort of more like a pretty boy, I don't know, like not as rough as the other guy, was kind of overweight. And the first guy went in kind of hard and aggressive. It was like 2-minute battles. And the second guy comes out, and he starts talking about how the other guy's fake and that he's a real one because his parents, he grew up with his parents being in jail. And like one of the lines was, you used to play with your sister in the yard, and I would visit my sister in the yard, like prison yard. And this stupid fucking idea that somehow, it's better that your parents were in fucking prison, right? He ends his rap, he ends his 2-minute round with pussy, right? He's a pussy because his parents aren't criminals, right? His parents, he didn't grow up in the great fucking, the great advantage of having your parents behind bars and you also being in jail as a kid. Like he's a pussy because he didn't have all those advantages of time in fucking correctional institutions, right? What a fucking pussy. What a loser, right? You don't got any street cred. You grew up in the suburbs. You pussy, right? In that Eminem 8 Mile, this is where battle rap became popular. He goes up against this crew. Eminem does. And he goes, his real name is Clarence, and he lives with both parents. He lives with both parents? Fucking how dare he have a 2 fucking parent family? How dare this motherfucking pussy have a dad? How dare this guy fucking he doesn't have all the advantages of growing up in a fucking trailer park made out of asbestos and lead, right? He doesn't have all the fucking advantages of growing up with a fucking meth head mother and a fucking human trafficking pimp father, right? You fucking pussy, like, and you're not even good criminals if the other guy is not even good criminals if they're getting caught, right? Like, it's one thing to be a fucking piece of shit criminal, steals and rapes and pillages and fucking deals drugs and harms other people. It's another thing to get caught on top of it, right? So they're not even like good criminals. They're piece of shit lowlifes who also are stupid enough to get fucking caught. But that's what you're bragging about? Like, that's, you know, how dare this kid grow up in a fucking suburb with fucking good nutrition and a fully developed brain and, like this is what we're dealing with. All right, so I'm just going to add this, and eventually I think I'll get around to some comments. Today's still Tuesday, December 9th. So, yeah. All right, so I might get to a few comments here. I don't know if I have some already picked. Let me go look in a second. I wanted to say something else about everything, but I forgot what that was. I was going to say it yesterday, and I didn't get the time. I saw a couple of movies. I saw Frankenstein by Benicio del Toro, I think is his name, the director. He has a very specific way of making movies that you can tell it's one of his movies. It's a fucking masterpiece. I was surprised I didn't hear more about it. Like, I thought it was just a fucking Frankenstein movie. Like, who gives a shit, right? But it's a masterpiece, and there's like kind of a almost a divine undertone to it about your creator and the human being a monster, this kind of thing. I'm kind of eager to get to my next video to cut off between Candace Owens and Erica J. Kirk. But before I do that, I wanted to talk about this other movie, Oh, What Fun. So they always make these shitty Christmas movies. And I want to check this one out. It's a Christmas movie. I could tell it sucked just from the preview. But, they have all these, streaming channels, and Amazon Prime cranked out they shit out a piece of crap that was this thing called Oh, What Fun. And the movie starts off with Michelle Pfeiffer saying, all the Christmas movies feature male heroes, male protagonists, and moms are the real hero of Christmas, which, I could say that about any holiday or anything. You could say, traditionally, it's not always the case. Moms are the ones that make them special, right? More often than not, there's dads who put effort into Christmas or whatever. But it starts off with this feminist, bitchy thing, like, guess what? All these Christmas movies, and it shows all the Christmas movies. And most of the Christmas movies, the male character is Santa Claus, right? So I've talked in depth about the Santa Claus deception, right? The Santa Claus conspiracy, whatever you want to call it. That this whole lie that everyone's supposed to carry out for the younger generation for no point, because, the holiday should be about Jesus. It's supposed to be about Jesus' birth. And you have this, character whose name is an anagram for Satan. And everyone's supposed to lie about it. And there's been lawsuits and shit where people have told kids the truth, like, it's like a real fucked up thing. It's like it's a prep for this deception where everyone agrees to lie socially. I mean, this is also, stuff to do with the Bible and Christianity and these things, where people perpetrate a lie and everyone's supposed to go along with it, right? So, I'm not a big fan of Santa, but, that's the holiday, and that's the main character in the holiday. And so she definitely has a problem with Santa. Like, there's a scene with Dennis Leary, and he's her husband. And I kind of fast forwarded through the things, but he's given he's given a toast for the person who makes Christmas special, right? And it sounds like she's talking about his wife, but then he goes in the other room, comes out dressed as Santa. And she has this thing where, like, she's anti-Santa, like moms are the real Santa. Like, this whole thing. The typical liberal fucking feminist narratives. Her daughter shows up, and she's a lesbian, and she has a gay lover, and her daughter shows up with a different girl every year, and that becomes a storyline. Her son's, you know, a loser. His girlfriend's just dumped him because he's like 25, and he just has a 3-month job at summer camp, and he's a complete wuss and like a total moron, and just the way that they treat young men now in movies. He's like worthless. And her other daughter's married to this, this dope. You recognize some of these people. They've been in other movies. And she has this competition with Little Miss Perfect across the street, who's a Asian woman married to a Jewish guy, and they have the perfect family and the best decorated house. And so, like, it's just all that kind of shit. And she just wants to go on a Leva Longoria Oprah type woman show where they celebrate moms, and she's dropping hints for her kids to nominate her as one of these great moms to be on the show. And they neglect her, and they forget to bring her to a dance thing that she bought tickets for. And a bunch of things happen where they neglect her, and she just goes on her own and goes to the show on her own and talks about how her kids didn't remember to nominate her. And even Longoria invites her backstage and talks about how she has to buy her own presents because no one thinks about her, and then she has to, buy everybody else's presents, and how bad Christmas sucks and how bad it is to be a woman on Christmas. I mean, I watched the whole movie in 15 minutes, just stopping at these points I could tell were going to be like, these storyline points. And it's just god awful, and the fucking whining, this. And again, women have, real traditional moms have, are underappreciated. Women are, and just like parents are underappreciated. I mean, both men and women, and sometimes the man does more, than the wife, the mom. But, generally speaking, that's not the case. But both of them there's just a lack of gratitude, which I've talked about. But, these fucking whiny films with this stuff in it, it's just, I mean, it's horrible. It's not entertaining. It's not, there's supposed to be a comedy, right? There's like zero jokes. There's zero laughs in this film. Michelle Pfeiffer isn't funny, and Dennis Leary's a shell of himself. I mean, just like embarrassing. Like, he's in this piece of shit. And they just slap these movies together. Low budget. They get a couple of famous people, and they slap them together. All these streaming services, and they're now I guess AI probably just writing these things. It just follows these blueprints, these templates. She's competing against Santa, like this whole idea that Santa's, is a myth, and it's the moms that are doing all the work, and it's not a man, it's a woman. But she rolls out Elf on the Shelf for her grandkids, that fucking little creepy elf that you have to move around the house, and it's a whole fucking stupid thing. All these lies, just a holiday of lies. Okay, so here was a comment I saw this morning. Your videos don't have enough ads, bro. They only come up every 20 seconds. You need to add more ads, bro. I need more ads in my life, bro. I need more about Amblin, bro. Okay, dumb fuck. I have no control over the ads. There's mid-roll ads. I have long videos, so there has to be some ads in there. I can handpick with each video where the ads go. And, if you know anything about me, I mean, I got it with each video. By the time I'm done with the video, I'm done with the video. And so it's YouTube that are writing the ads. And even if I cut out ads, YouTube, like let's say I don't put ads on, I say I don't want ads on the entire video, or if I was demonetized, YouTube still runs ads. And so you have a problem with YouTube, not me. Don't fucking, bother me with your complaints. Again, if you're willing to, if everyone was willing to pay for the content, and I could make it, something where there would be, I'm fine not having ads, right? But if I don't have enough of an audience to, if it was just based in donation, I could make this a donation-based channel. But, it wouldn't be enough to support me. So that's what we got. And when people want to step up and, if I had more people donating, more people part of the member program or whatever it is, then, there would be that. So otherwise, yeah, poor you. Like, I mean, just go somewhere else. I don't give a shit. Okay, so No comments. I just read all the comments from the last video, which is the one with Erica's snot rags tracker. And, you know, that's a funny video. This is, I think, a very funny video, too. So, I mean, I dig in the fake jewelry, the fucking jewelry stuff. So I'm going to wrap this one up here. And I will, I'm eager to get going on this epic Candace versus Erica J. Kirk video. I'm eager to get to the Candace stuff. And then the Erica stuff is, you know, it's a little harder to get through. They both are very annoying people. But the Candace stuff is so epically bad for her. Like, I mean, she just, well, you'll see it when you see it. Anyways, that's it for this one. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paul Romano, Death's One Point for the Apocalypse and the Ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.